Hey, this is Larry again, and I'm here with
Michael David Raso.
Michael David Raso. Thank you for the full name.
You're welcome.
And we're
last name is spelled R-A-S-O.
R-A-S-O. Okay, so you're not shy.
No.
Okay, good. And you said that you were a journalist, right?
I was at one point. I did some independent work. I worked for my university, including for NPR, and I was a cameraman, and I did do the interviewing for KNOE and Monroe.
Okay. So how's it feel to be on that side of the camera?
It was rough doing it. I love camera work, I love interviewing people, and I love being interviewed.
Okay.
I love everything about it, except covering more tragic stories was probably the hardest thing to do.
Well, speaking of tragic stories, what brings you to the 5th of November Bank Transfer Day?
What brings me to the 5th of November Bank Transfer Day is a desire to move my money out of a large corporate enterprise and into a local credit union. The reason for that is that I feel that banks such as Chase and Capital One have become too big to fail. And once they're too big to fail, they're too big to be around. They need to shrink down and become, if they want to stick around at all, to be a safe investment like they used to be. That is what a bank is supposed to be, a place to secure your money, not a place to gamble with it, not a place to make CEOs and board members rich.
But you're camping at the site, right?
But that's what it's become now. It's become about greed, and that has to stop.
Yeah, have you heard, the best quote I like about that is Bernie Sanders. He says, "Too big to fail is too big to exist."
I am a huge fan of Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders,
and I deeply agree with him. I believe that they are too big to exist at this point. We need to invest in institutions that give back to the community, not back to themselves.
And I guess you're familiar with the Glass-Steagall then, right?
I am not, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, the Glass-Steagall Act came out after the 1930s Depression, and the idea was to separate investment banks from mortgage banks.
Actually, I have heard of that.
Yeah.
I didn't know the title of it.
Yeah.
And it seems things like that have gone out the window. That, along with the Fairness Act, everything that was for the people has become for business.
Right.
And
well, you know,
that's not
corporations
right.
are people too.
Corporations have people in them.
Yeah.
But that is dispersed responsibility. Nobody gets charged with anything. Nobody has to take responsibility because it's so dispersed. And when I forget who said this, but when I see a corporation executed, then I'll consider it a person.
Yeah.
But at this point, they get the rights of an average single person and all the freedoms of a business. It's not fair, and it's time for it to stop.
Well, thank you, Michael.
Welcome, Larry.
Crowd's growing a bit.
We're cheerleaders.
Yeah. So I have forms if you want to shut for Chase Bank. They have them online. Capital One can have those forms. Help expedite whatever process. So does anyone want an account closing form from Chase? Yes, I do. Okay. Anyone else at Chase that wants to?
Will this identify us in any kind of way? Or, I mean, like, will they say, oh, people will bring these in today or part of the November 5th?
I have a pen in my car. I forgot to bring it. So, I mean, it's 2577. I want to shut my account down and